"This feels like boxing, no news, no updates, nothing," said Lil Durk during a prison phone call with DJ Agar, describing the harsh reality of his time behind bars. Since his arrest at Miami International Airport, Durk has been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. He pleaded not guilty in LA federal court on November 14, 2024. His trial, originally set for January 7, 2025, was delayed to October 14, 2025. Due to the case's complexity fueled by over 230 gigabytes of digital evidence and more than 20,000 documents, Lil Durk has been denied bond several times, as prosecutors labeled him a flight risk, pointing to his past international travel plans to Dubai, Switzerland, and Italy. They also referenced additional allegations possibly linking him to another homicide. Despite Durk's legal team offering a $3 million bail package that included house arrest and property, the judge denied the request on December 12, 2024. Since then, glimpses into Durk's life behind bars have surfaced through brief jail calls and music drops. In one leaked call that made its way to X, formerly Twitter, in April, Durk reportedly revealed he refused protective custody. This move raised concern among fans and commentators, including DJ Academics, who noted the risks of such a decision for a figure as high-profile as Durk. In 2025, Lil Durk shared that he hasn't had a chance to listen to any of the music from his upcoming album, Deep Thoughts, since being incarcerated. In a more recent recorded phone call, believed to be from late April 2025, Durk gave fans a small window into his daily life behind bars, describing how he's been spending his time while awaiting trial.
You know, ain't nothing changed, bro. I just focused on life, you know, my family and stuff like that. I'm trying to learn how to speak Arabic here.
Wait, how you learn that? Like, how do you get to learn that? You got classes?
You said, no, it's a couple guys here that know how to speak Arabic fluently. So I'm just learning the different words and, tighten up my Arabic, just getting my knowledge.
Lil Durk is trying to stay productive behind bars by learning Arabic from fellow inmates and playing 2v2 basketball to keep active. However, not all his jail behavior has been ideal. Reports say he broke rules by using his phone for three-way calls despite warnings at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. Prosecutors used this to argue he doesn't follow rules, which hurt his chances for bail. Still, Durk's presence in the music scene remains strong. On March 28, 2025, he posted on X about his album, Deep Thoughts, saying he almost didn't release it but remembered the streets lead, and though he couldn't be outside with fans, he felt their love through the walls. The album reached number 3 on the Billboard 200, proving his fans still support him despite his legal issues. Durk also appeared on Hypno Caro's track, Where Smirk Go, released November 1, 2024, where he expressed loyalty to Caro and their close circle, calling him a brother. Some questioned whether the voice in leaked calls was really Lil Durk. Meanwhile, Durk's legal team, led by attorney Drew Finley, known for winning rapper cases, is aggressively fighting the charges. On April 19, 2025, they filed motions to dismiss the superseding indictment and requested reconsideration of his detention, arguing prosecutors relied on false or misleading grand jury evidence. A key point was the prosecution's use of lyrics from Durk's verse on Babyface Ray's Wonderful Wayne, released in December 2022. Prosecutors highlighted lines like "Told me they got an Addigo location, go greenlight go go," suggesting the song glorified a shooting, referencing a news clip of Quando Rando reacting to Lou Pab's death. Durk's defense countered that the track was recorded in January 2022, 7 months before the August incident, is disputing the prosecution's claims. The defense also presented sworn statements from producers, including Juice Vibes, confirming the song was recorded well before the 2022 shooting, making it impossible for the lyrics to reference that incident. They sarcastically noted that the prosecution's argument would require believing Durk has the ability to foresee the future. Additionally, Durk's team disputed claims that the track included a news clip of Quando Rondo's voice, pointing out that this was from fan-made YouTube edits, not the original song. They argued Durk had no involvement with these altered versions and criticized the government for relying on manufactured videos without linking Durk to them. The defense argued that clips from random internet users should not be considered valid evidence, accusing the prosecution of serious misconduct for relying on misleading material that undermined the grand jury's role. They claimed these errors were so significant they warranted dismissing the entire indictment and requested access to grand jury transcripts to scrutinize the evidence further. In addition to the motion to dismiss, Durk's legal team filed for bond, offering $2.3 million in Georgia property, equity and $1 million in cash from Sony Music. Judge Patricia Donahue approved a bond hearing for May 8, 2025, although an earlier bond request had been denied. Meanwhile, in February 2025, Andrea Equella Robinson, mother of Lou Pab, filed a wrongful death lawsuit in Cook County against Durk, his business manager F, and a related company, alleging Durk orchestrated the targeted attack. Beyond the murder case linked to Quando Rondo's death, Lil Durk faces additional legal troubles. A 2023 FBI affidavit connects him to another uncharged murder-for-hire plot targeting Stephen Mack, a suspected Gangster Disciples member in Chicago back in 2022. This alleged hit is reportedly tied to the 2021 murder of Durk's brother, Dante Banks. Prosecutors have used this information to argue Durk is a flight risk and should remain in custody, even though he hasn't been formally charged for this second plot. The case also sparks broader debate over the use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal trials, something increasingly criticized for misrepresenting artistic expression and unfairly targeting hip-hop artists. With the trial now scheduled for October 14, 2025, the outcome will be closely monitored by both the hip-hop community and legal experts, as a conviction could have significant implications. Lil Durk now faces the possibility of a life sentence, yet his legal team remains optimistic about challenging the evidence against him. As the May 8, 2025 bond hearing approaches and the trial date looms, this case reveals much more than one artist's fate. It exposes the tangled connections between rap, street culture, and the justice system. Durk's situation also reflects a broader pattern of rappers caught in the crossfire of gang conflicts. The ongoing tension among Durk, NBA Youngboy, and Quando Rondo may have fueled these troubles, highlighting how deeply these rivalries impact both personal lives and legal battles. Looking back, Durk's case is far from isolated. Over the years, many rappers have ended up behind bars due to alleged gang-related violence. One example is YNW Melly, the Florida rapper associated with the G Shine Bloods, who was arrested in February 2019 on similar charges. YNW Melly, a Florida rapper, faces serious charges for allegedly killing his own crew members, Christopher Y.W. Juvie, Thomas and Anthony Y.W. Sackhazer Williams. Prosecutors say the murders stemmed from internal gang disputes. Melly's first trial ended in a mistrial in July 2023, and he remains incarcerated, awaiting a retrial scheduled for September 2025. Like Lil Durk, Melly's case involves accusations of orchestrating violence tied to gang affiliations, with prosecutors using his music and connections as evidence. Another example is TK, a Texas rapper linked to the Daytona Boys gang in Arlington. His 2016 arrest followed a home invasion that turned deadly, resulting in the murder of Ethan Walker during a robbery. In 2019, TK was convicted of murder and aggravated robbery, receiving a 55-year sentence. Like Durk, TK was a young rapper caught up in gang-related violence. Caught in deadly gang conflicts, New York drill rapper K Flock, linked to the Sev Side gang in the Bronx, was arrested in 2021 for the murder of Oscar Hernandez, tied to a rivalry with the DOA gang. Convicted in 2024, K Flock faces a possible life sentence. Similar to Lil Durk, his case highlights how drill music intensifies local gang tensions, with feuds playing out in lyrics and social media. Another prominent example is Young Thug, who was charged in 2022 with leading Young Stoner Life, YSO, a group the authorities labeled as a Bloods-affiliated criminal enterprise. After more than 2 years in custody, Young Thug pled guilty to reduced charges in October 2024 and was released on 15 years probation. Like Durk, he faced gang-related accusations tied to violent acts. New Orleans rapper C Murder, signed to No Limit Records and connected to the Kalia Project gang culture, was convicted of second-degree murder in 2009 for killing a teenager. Serving life without parole, C Murder remains imprisoned amid ongoing appeals and claims of prosecutorial misconduct. These cases reveal a disturbing pattern. Music and social media fuel gang rivalries that too often spiral into real-world violence. These cases show how deeply intertwined music, gang culture, and the legal system have become, often leading to serious consequences for artists. Prosecutors frequently use rappers' lyrics, videos, and affiliations as evidence, blurring the line between artistic expression and alleged criminal activity. Now, diving into the core conflict behind Lil Durk's current legal troubles reveals a deadly feud involving NBA YoungBoy and Quando Rondo. This tension traces back to the rivalry between Durk's Only the Family crew and NBA YoungBoy's Never Broke Again camp. A major turning point occurred in November 2020, when King Von, one of Durk's closest allies, was fatally shot outside an Atlanta club during an altercation involving Quando Rondo, who is affiliated with NBA YoungBoy. That night's events are crucial. King Von reportedly confronted Quando Rondo, and in the ensuing chaos, Timothy Tim Leaks, an associate of Rondo, fired the shots that killed Von. Although Tim faced murder charges, prosecutors ruled it self-defense and released him in 2021. This decision significantly escalated tensions between Durk's crew and NBA YoungBoy's camp, setting the stage for further violence. After King Von's death, tensions rose quickly. Both sides released diss tracks and social media posts targeting each other. Quando Rondo dropped "Could Have Been Me," seen as a diss to Lil Durk and Von. Rumors say Rondo tried to make peace by messaging Durk, but it failed. Durk and YoungBoy kept sending subtle shots in songs. In 2023, Durk hinted at nearly confronting YoungBoy in Utah. Rumors also say Durk tried to blacklist YoungBoy and Rondo on Apple Music. Prosecutors claim Durk's revenge over Von's death led him to order a hit on Rondo, fueling the murder case now risking his life sentence. What begins as competitive lyrics and social media bragging often spirals into real, violent clashes with harsh legal repercussions. The conflicts among these artists mirror the deeper struggles within Chicago's drill scene and gang culture, where avenging fallen friends is a powerful code that frequently outweighs the law. Social media and music fuel this tension, turning private disputes into widely publicized dramas. Misinformation, fan theories, and manipulated videos only add layers of confusion. As seen in Durk's fight to counter accusations based on his lyrics, the most heartbreaking part is Durk's struggle to balance loyalty to the streets with his rising mainstream fame despite earning a Grammy for All My Life, 2024 and notable commercial achievements. Lil Durk's decision to remain connected to Chicago's O Block, even after fame, earned him respect for his loyalty but also exposed him to danger. A contrast appears like Chief Keef, who distanced themselves. Now facing serious legal charges, Durk risks spending life behind bars, potentially ending one of hip-hop's most promising careers. Despite this, his 2025 album, Deep Thoughts, released while incarcerated, debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, showing his influence. Endures. Known for shaping modern drill with his melodic street narratives, Durk's case also highlights the controversy over using rap lyrics as legal evidence, a practice critics say unfairly criminalizes artistic expression and misunderstands the nature of hip-hop storytelling. Lil Durk's fall from grace is felt deeply by fans and observers alike, especially given his efforts to uplift his community through initiatives like the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation and youth mentorship. His arrest not only shocked supporters but also led Broadview, Illinois, to revoke an honorary key once given in recognition of his success, a symbol of the community's disappointment. Currently held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles, Durk awaits a bond hearing on May 8, 2025, and trial on October 14. The outcome could have far-reaching implications, not just for his future, but for how the justice system treats hip-hop artists and their art. His case, rooted in the tragic aftermath of King Von's death and ongoing tension with Quando Rondo, underscores how the blend of music, street loyalty, and public feuds can spiral into real-life consequences, turning a rising star into a cautionary tale. Lil Durk's rise from the streets of Englewood to hip-hop stardom was nothing short of remarkable. A kid from Chirac who became the voice of a movement, but his story also reveals the dangerous stakes of drill rap and how the justice system handles rap-related violence. On October 24, 2024, everything changed. Just as he was boarding a private jet to Italy, federal agents arrested Durk at Miami International Airport. In an instant, the dream life turned into a nightmare. To truly grasp how Durk-born Devontae Banks on October 19, 1992, went from chart topper to inmate, one must look back at his journey. A relentless climb from Englewood's chaos to global fame, all while staying tethered to the streets that both built and betrayed him. Lil Durk's journey began in Englewood, one of Chicago's most dangerous neighborhoods, where survival was a daily challenge. With his father incarcerated when he was just 7 months old, Durk was raised primarily by his mother, a nurse doing her best to shield him from the streets. But the pull of his environment was strong. As a teen, he joined the Black Disciples, struggled in school, and became a father by 17, a turning point that pushed him to take music seriously. In 2010, he began releasing freestyles like Lamb Run and Wasted on MySpace and YouTube. Gaining traction in Chicago's emerging drill scene, his debut mixtape I'm a Hitta dropped in 2011, followed by I'm Still a Hitta and Life Ain't No Joke in 2012. The latter, racking up over 216,000 downloads and cementing his place as a rising voice in the genre. Lil Durk made serious waves as an unsigned artist, pulling major numbers on DatPiff with early mixtapes, a rare feat for someone straight out of Chicago's South Side. His 2012 track L's Anthem, later remixed with French Montana, became a breakout hit that solidified his place in the city's drill movement alongside names like Chief Keef. By 2013, the buzz around L's Anthem and This Ain't What You Want had labels calling, and Durk landed a deal with Def Jam under his crew, Only the Family. His Sign to the Streets mixtape dropped the same year, earning praise from Rolling Stone as one of the top tapes of 2013. Featuring production from Young Chop and a style that blended raw street narratives with melodic delivery, Durk continued to climb with his debut album, Remember My Name, in 2015, which reached No. 14 on the Billboard 200. Followed by Lil Durk 2X in 2016, which featured big names like Future and Young Thug. Although it peaked at No. 29. Tracks like My Beyoncé with Dayloaf went gold, and hinted at Durk's growing crossover appeal. After parting ways with Def Jam in 2018, his momentum only picked up. His 2020 track Viral Moment became his first solo Hot 100 hit, and collaborations like Three-Headed Goat with Lil Baby and Polo G, Laugh Now Cry Later with Drake, and Back in Blood with Pooh Shiesty made him a dominant name. By 2021, the voice of The Heroes, his joint album with Lil Baby, debuted at No. 1, confirming Durk wasn't just part of the conversation, he was leading it. By 2023, Lil Durk had become the most successful artist to emerge from the drill scene. His album 7220 topped the charts, and Almost Healed debuted at number 3, led by the Grammy-winning single All My Life featuring J. Cole, which soared to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Durk's net worth reached an estimated $8 million, boosted by a $40 million deal with Alamo Records. Strong streaming numbers, touring, and ventures like Durk Landry Trucking LLC. But even as he climbed to the top, the streets he came from never let go. Legal troubles followed him throughout his rise, from a 2011 gun charge involving a weapon with a scratched-off serial number, to a 2013 arrest for carrying a loaded .50 caliber firearm in Englewood, to a 2019 shooting in Atlanta that was later dismissed. Alongside these cases, he endured personal losses, including the deaths of his cousin, manager, and close friends, tragedies that added weight to an already heavy journey. The deaths of Lil Durk's brother D-Thing and his close friend King Von underscored the steep price he paid for staying tied to the streets, even as his fame soared. Beneath the chart-topping hits and sold-out shows, a deadly feud was escalating, one that would have life-altering consequences. The tension centered on a brewing conflict between Durk's camp and rising rapper Quando Rondo. Things exploded on November 6, 2020, when King Von, Durk's close friend and collaborator, was fatally shot outside an Atlanta nightclub during a confrontation with Rondo's crew. Reports say Von approached Rondo directly, prompting Timothy Tim Leaks, a member of Rondo's circle, to fire the fatal shots. The loss shattered Durk's inner circle and marked the beginning of a dark spiral that would eventually entangle him in serious legal trouble. After King Von's death, Quando Rondo's affiliate Lil Tim was charged with the shooting but released in 2021 when prosecutors ruled it self-defense, a decision that reportedly infuriated Durk and his OTF camp, who saw it as another failure of the system. Tensions quickly escalated as both camps traded lyrical shots and threats online, with Durk's Aha and Rondo's End of Story keeping the feud alive. Though Rondo allegedly reached out to Durk privately to squash the beef, those talks went nowhere, and the hostility only deepened. According to federal investigators, this was the point where the rap feud allegedly turned into something more dangerous. They claim Durk, seen as the shot caller in OTF, put out a bounty on Rondo's head, offering money and music. Industry favors to anyone in his circle willing to carry out the hit. What began as a lyrical war had now, in the eyes of law enforcement, crossed into criminal conspiracy. Federal prosecutors alleged that 6 men tied to OTF Kevon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Asa Houston traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles in August 2022, with one goal: to kill Quando Rondo. They reportedly tracked Rondo and his cousin, Safoya Luld Pab Robinson, using 2 rental cars, while Rondo's crew drove a black Escalade. The hit went down at a gas station near the Beverly Center, where gunmen opened fire, killing Lul Pab but missing Rondo. The shooting, involving a switch-enabled automatic weapon, endangered civilians at a busy intersection, escalating the situation beyond street retaliation. Key evidence includes bookings made with a credit card linked to Durk's former manager, used to pay for flights and hotel rooms, and a text message Durk allegedly sent coordinating with one of the suspects. For the feds, this wasn't just rap drama, it was an organized hit. According to federal investigators, the conspiracy became clearer through a trail of digital breadcrumbs. A text message from Lil Durk allegedly read, "Don't book no flights under no names involved, with me," and he was seen flying to California with one of the suspects, London Grant, just a day before the Beverly Center shooting. The feds also cited lyrics from Durk's 2022 track Wonderful Wayne and Jackie, Boy with Babyface Ray as potential references to the hit, though his lawyers argued those bars were written and recorded well before the incident. After the 5 OTF affiliates were arrested in Chicago, authorities learned Durk had booked one-way tickets to Dubai and Switzerland, and a private jet to Italy. They saw this as an attempt to flee the country. On October 24, 2024, the feds intercepted and arrested him at Miami International Airport, charging him with conspiracy to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, resulting in death, a charge that could carry life behind bars. Lil Durk now faces some of the most serious charges in federal law, including murder for hire resulting in death and using, carrying, and discharging a firearm, including a machine gun, in the commission of a violent crime. If convicted, he may never walk free again. The artist, who once called himself the voice of Chicago, now sits in silence behind bars, awaiting a trial that could decide the rest of his life. His story is no longer just about fame or music, it's a cautionary tale of how street loyalty and legal consequences can collide at the highest level of success.